Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Mike's Minute. I happen to be sitting here with a good friend and colleague, Jeff Hudson. Jeff Hudson is a local estate planning attorney. And what I wanted to do is ask Jeff a couple questions so we could kind of help our viewers understand what estate planning is, and who needs estate planning, and when that estate planning should begin. I am a financial professional. Jeff is an estate planning attorney. And I guess my first question, and I've already opened it up, but tell us a little bit about estate planning, Jeff, and why it is so important.
Sure. So estate planning is really just kind of getting you walking through and contemplating who might do things for you when you're not capable of doing them. So we're looking at like healthcare surrogates, living wills, powers of attorney. If there's a situation when you can't act on your own, you're nominating people to stand and do things for you. Estate planning also deals with distribution of assets or taxes, and working with not only attorneys but also professionals like you that might help set up certain designees to pass assets to their beneficiaries.
Okay. And so obviously, then we already do some estate planning in my office because we're dealing with designations of primary and contingent beneficiaries. And I always talk about that. Make sure you take care of that. But so when would someone want to start doing their estate planning, Jeff?
Sure. So estate planning is different for every individual because not everyone needs the same thing. It really, working with a professional advisor and attorney, you will structure things based on your individual needs. So there's no one size fit all thing. Like if you have a child, that's a good time to start looking at estate planning. If you're a little bit older and you don't have a spouse and you need someone to do something for you, that's a good time to start thinking about estate planning. As you get older, that's definitely a good time to start thinking about estate planning, or at least updating your estate plan. That kind of looks at things like probate, avoiding probate, naming beneficiaries, naming the people that can do tasks for you when you're no longer capable as you get older. So it really varies.
Okay. So the other thing that I find interesting, we have clients in different states, and our viewers today may be watching from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida. Every state has different laws. And so I've learned recently, because we've had some clients pass that lived in different states, that you definitely want to base some of your estate planning decisions, your probate matters, your trust matters, your will matters. All of that can be very state specific, right, Jeff? Yeah. So what would you suggest?
Definitely, even those documents like the healthcare surrogate, living will, powers of attorney, those all rely on state statutes. So they are very independent to the state that you live in. So if you move to a new state, it's always good to kind of meet with an advisor to review things that you have in place. The wills themselves, also, there's certain specific requirements depending on the state that you live in that need to be manifested in that document. Trust, when you have a revocable trust, those are typically good from state to state. There might be a need for an update based on how it's administered according to statute, but those are pretty much good from state to state.
Okay.
But yeah, everything else is pretty much state dependent.
Okay.
You mentioned that the states have different rules for things. Probate, for example, is different from state to state here. So I could speak to the Florida probate, and something that you definitely want to avoid because there's a cost associated with that. I was explaining earlier that, for a formal probate, if you have assets that exceed $75,000, you have to have an attorney kind of represent the family through that process. And so that's something that a lot of people don't understand when they open up a probate, is that there's going to be this cost that they really hadn't contemplated when they created their last will and testament.
And that's a Florida matter there, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the message, because we could probably talk for hours. The message is talk to your financial professional, call us, talk to your estate planning attorney. If you don't have one, give us a call. We work very closely with Jeff, we really do. And you want to have that kind of relationship where you have a trusted professional, a trusted advisor that you're working with. Anyway, thank you, Jeff, for joining us today. We appreciate it. And thank you for watching. And now go lead your best life. Thank you.